Hi, my name is Tyler.
And I'm Paige.
And this is Coffee. And this is our 2004 Subaru Outback.
So we're gonna work our way down. This is the blanket that we stood on during our elopement in September. This is a 2-inch piece of memory foam that was for a king-size mattress, but we folded it in half and put a mattress cover on the top of it and then just a sheet on top of that. It's actually really, really comfortable, like most comfortable bed I've ever owned. So underneath this mattress is where we store all of our shades. We put these up at night, I'll show you that later, and this covers this big section right here. Also, this is neat, we use this to close the door, like whenever we get inside at the end of the night. You can just pull on this from the inside and it closes really easy. So here in the corner, we store 2 pairs of shoes, my hiking shoes and Tyler's fancy shoes. There. Another cool thing about this is we wanted to actually take this out at first, but we decided it had a use, so we can attach Coffee to this. This prevents him from being thrown. Like if he's sleeping on the bed and we go ahead and start driving, we can attach this to him, and whenever we slam on the brakes, it would like lock just like any other seatbelt. This whole thing lifts up right here, and we have 2 camp chairs. These are Tyler's tools for working on the car because the car breaks a lot. And then there's this, which slides out. And we have just a ton of stuff in here. Propane, jet oil, hammocks, fuel, of course, climbing shoes. Sometimes when it's really hot, we can take this out and drape it over this whole section right here, and it just hangs down, and we can actually relax in the back of the Subaru without having to worry about a ton of mosquitoes. Here with the spare tire, we keep jumper cables. Guys! Anyways, so under here with the spare tire, we keep some more tools and jumper cables just in case. These little clips that you see hanging up everywhere, we use these to make sure there's no gaps in our curtains. So I have these, right, that they pop up into the window, but that doesn't take care of everything. So we'll take this clip and we'll put it right in here, and then we'll shove it in this gap there. So that'll hold. And so I'll take another one, I'll fold it down, and I'll take that.
Hey guys, so I quickly wanted to give you a little bit more details on exactly how we built this bed platform in the Subaru. First, let's start with the wood. This is a standard 7/16 plywood OSB board. I think it was like $8 or $9. I will list it out here to the side so we can tally up the cost of this actual bed platform cost. We went with some standard outdoor carpet that we bought. It was like 40 cents a square foot or something like that. Some standard door hinges so that we have lifting functions here to store stuff underneath. And this also allows us to have access to our spare tire and tools underneath. So if you lift this up, you can still access the spare tire, pull everything out, your jumper cables, tools, whatever that you needed to store under here. So having access to this stuff was a big concern of ours because I wanted to make sure that if anything was to happen, I can easily get to our stuff without having to pull our build out on the side of the road. Again, let me swing to the front. Let me show you some things up there. So guys, if you look here, we have standard 2x4s that we built a platform to support the actual head of the board with. We just cut these with the standard hand wood saw that only costs like 10 bucks. We ran it the full length over here and then 2 that drop down. And these aren't locked in or anything, but they've never moved or had any problems slipping out. Now, some people ask, why did we choose to take this out versus keeping our seats in? We knew that we wouldn't be picking up people, and we travel for long extended periods of time with this Subaru, so we wanted that extra space to store things. Because if you look and you see, you have plenty of more storage underneath here that you have access to now that you wouldn't have had before. We also used 2 standard shelving 90-degree angles to help support the center section here. So moving on, you can see here where we use 2x4 pieces to also support our corners from this wood to the main centerpiece of wood. That's needed, I feel like, to make sure that you have a good support when you're drilling your screws in. You have something in the corners to really give it a little bit more rigidity. And these cuts of wood are super simple. If you'll look, all I have here, length of wood by a certain length, and I cut these little notches that allowed for this to open up in the corners here. So nothing too complicated. If you also look here, you can see where we took a staple gun, and that's how we attached the carpet to the bed platform. So we had to come up with some ways to make sure that this board didn't collapse. It's not a thick enough board to keep it from bending under pressure, crawling in and out. You can see that even coffee walking on here, we had some support problems here. So to eliminate any other extra boards or anything like that, I used this. Just the standard stock OEM car jack. So we took this, we placed it right here in this intersection, and you can raise it, and it gives it all the support you need. We've been climbing in and out of this thing. I weigh 170 pounds. My wife, I can't say that, I'll get in trouble for something like that. Coffee weighs 26, and you can see we had absolutely no problems supporting our weight on here. So guys, I'll jump back to Paige going through our actual full build out and what it looks like when we're normally traveling. But I just wanted to quickly give you the rundown of the cost of this bed platform. I think this is one of the most beneficial things you can have in a Subaru, considering you don't have a lot of square footage space, or square inch space for that matter, and doing anything you can to give you more room to place things and organize and to not feel cluttered all the time is a plus. So again, I'll jump right back to the other video and let Paige finish out talking about what we stored throughout the rest of the Subaru.
So if we move on along to the passenger side, we got clothing, basically, is what this is. So these two bags have all of our clothes in it. It also has all of our toiletries and stuff. So anything that we would carry into Planet Fitness to shower with is gonna be in there. Okay, so we got our camera gear in that bag, and the laptop and iPad in that laptop bag right there. We would normally have food in this, and it's usually just dried food, anything that we can boil and eat, we would normally keep in there. So we actually got this Thule box at sort of like a thrift store, and then we came across this, and it was perfect. It was only $40, and the reason it was $40 is because this little lock was broken, but Tyler fixed it because he's a genius, and now it's fully functional. It was pretty sweet though. So we keep all of our camping, most of our climbing gear in there, ropes. It like tripled the amount of stuff that we can carry with us now. It's incredible. So we built this bed platform in 3 sections. So I showed you how the back end section lifts up. Well, this does the same thing, okay? This bottom layer will lift up, as well as this. This one flips out like that, and I'll show you in just a second. So we've tried a bunch of different stuff to try and ventilate in the summer, and most things have failed or have made me feel pretty unsafe. So what we came up with was this right here unties. And you can actually loop it through here, pull it down a little bit, loop this, and then you can decide how open you want this door.